that working? Is that working now? I think that's working, isn't it? I'm just trying to get the sound sorted. An absolute nightmare. This is why PC is easier, I think. But yeah, it's just a quick stream. I haven't used a mic yet on the PS5. Luckily, this was a mic I already had. So yeah, I've not had to buy a mic for it. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if that's working. Hopefully it's working. Hopefully just a bit of a chill session. Any comments, just post. But yeah, I'm still going. The channel is still going, just about. It's just more for fun and keeping it going at the minute. So yeah, I'm trying to think. It's probably about 3 years ago I started streaming on the PC. Started doing a lot of the live streams. Trying to get the channel going at the time. YouTube was always something I wanted to do as a hobby. Something just as a bit of a hobby where you don't have to leave the house and work around family. Sort of having a couple of kids now, a wife, house. Everything does change. It's harder to get on games, live streams, or just time on the PC. I found a lot of the streams were actually when everyone had gone to bed, so it's sort of that midnight stream till silly o'clock, probably 2 o'clock in the morning, sort of thing. So yeah, it does take it out you a little bit. Yeah, originally a lot of the streams were probably a lot of Rainbow Six Siege clips, a lot of gameplay of Siege, a lot of Skate gameplay, whether it's Skate 3, Skate 1, a bit of Skate 2. Then went into doing probably more Skater XL at the time, a lot of console Skater XL, a lot of Session as well. Skater XL, I was lucky to get some of the early access to that, which was pretty cool in the prison yard. So I did quite a lot of the gameplay sort of test for that, which was cool. It's such a shame how sort of the skate games have just gone in general, and I mean that in the sense of Skater XL, Session and Skate. There's just so much potential, and you even look at this game now and you think we're sort of like 15 years in, it's in Skate 3 and they're just about adding stuff from 15 years ago. So stuff like dark slides, that sort of stuff coming back in. Yeah, I'd probably say out of the 3 games, really, the big one for me was probably Skater XL on PC. That was sort of the game changer of getting a smooth game. At the time, Session was a little bit robotic. Yeah, it's a little bit robotic at the time, Session. It was only probably a good couple of years ish, sort of early access testing, different testing a session, and then the 1.0 update hit, and it actually felt like a game that you could play. Yeah, it is a great game out of the box. I think Skater XL's definitely died a bit of a death, to be honest. Which is a shame, because as I said, such a smooth game, and it's just a shame all the people on console who can't actually experience the modded version. I think out the box, I've always said Session's the game to get if you're on console and PC. It's just fundamentally a more realistic sort of sim experience, where you could change your stats, change everything. I'd probably say I enjoyed Skater XL more when it was modded, so changing the board sizes, gravity settings, all that sort of stuff. I was quite lucky to actually get early access to Skate when it came out, probably a couple of years ago actually, and that included a mobile version as well, and that was across Xbox and PC, so that was all sort of under the NDA, so it's a bit of a shame really. It would have been good to see the devs wanting a bit more sort of feedback from the game, in the sense of probably out the back of streamers and what people want to see. A lot of the access stuff has been taken into account, but you don't get that sort of 360 feedback of what comments you had from the sort of early access testing versus what's in the game and how you've influenced anything. But yeah, overall there's quite a lot. Part of my comments back in were stuff around sort of like the respawn time, where the early access you'd have to press a button and then keep hold of it and then enable sort of a session marker, and then respawn that way, so it's so clunky. I think it was sort of a bit like the old Skate games, especially Skate 3, where it's a little bit clunky. This is definitely snappier, like Skater XL, which is good, so that's good to see. Actually, they've actually put that in, so they have listened. It's just a shame they've just not put everything in yet, but yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm messing about there, plus trying to feed a child as well, so that's not quite happening. So that's the problem, I think, trying to get a YouTube channel going, plus family, plus work, plus a baby, it just doesn't quite happen. So I can sort of try and multitask, and it's quite funny actually, because when I started doing a lot of the days gone streams probably a couple of years ago, that was when I had the first child, who's now 4, so a lot of the streams were when he was either asleep for a few hours in the day. So yeah, so I've gone sort of 4 years now down the line, and another one, so yeah, to be fair, the PS5 has been a game changer in the sense of live streaming. So typically on the Xbox you can get a lot of good 4K shorts. It's so easy to get a lot of the game captures, a lot of the shorts straight onto the Xbox app, which is cool. There's pros and cons with the PS5. The pros being you can live stream. It literally takes 2 clicks. You just press the button on the controller and then go live, and it's so easy. You can then manage any of the stuff on sort of the YouTube profile, if you want to change sort of your thumbnails, that sort of stuff. Yeah, really is quick. The downside to that is it is 1080p, so where I was streaming at either 4K or 1440p on the PC, and having the mic set up on webcams and different bits like that, so yeah, it's a lot quicker than turning the PC on. It's just got the limitation of the 1080p, so which I think doesn't actually look that bad. It seems to upscale a little bit, so if I'm running this at 4K and it's at 1080p now, it's almost a little bit better than your typical 1080p. But yeah, it's quite good actually. If I'd known that years ago, I probably would have just got a PlayStation instead of the Xbox, but then I could probably argue I probably wouldn't have bought the PC then, so everything does happen. The PC is definitely better for streaming, but this definitely does help. You can sort of jump into any game. The only comment being, if you do stream on the PlayStation, if you were to load another game up, you'd have to quit the first stream. Basically, the minute you go into the home menu or quit the stream, basically you get the blue bars on, or if you quit the game, then the stream ends. So you can't then jump between games, which is a bit of a shame, really. It'd be good just to stream as sort of a top level stream and then jump into games that way, but not a problem. It's quite a good service, and as I said, it's free to stream, which is good. So anyone who does have a PlayStation, I definitely recommend even just starting, if you on YouTube or Twitch, definitely just trying to stream out, and just getting a bit of a flavour of YouTube. So yeah, the days gone stream were probably the bigger ones a few years ago. Managed to complete that game, which was good. I'm still playing it now, actually. Seems to have a massive following. The skate game at the minute is sort of just the easy jump to. I'm a little bit shocked, really, because I sort of expected not to play the game much. As I said, I had early access a good 2 years ago on mobile, Xbox and PC. I probably did about 10 hours, if that. It was a bit of a shame, really. I felt really guilty having sort of a bit of a, almost sort of like a bit of a, I'm trying to think, say sort of like a bit of a privilege of being able to play the test in early access, which I sort of wasted to a point. I sort of tried to use it more of what's not quite right with the game, to try and provide some feedback. I felt quite guilty that there'd be people who'd play hundreds of hours who have to wait to play it. But yeah, so when the game did come out, I was a little bit nervous of if it was in that same state, I'd probably struggle with it. It's sort of won me over now. It seems smooth. Everything seems, yeah, a lot better, actually. I'm actually quite shocked. It does feel quite good. You can sort of map the tray flips. I don't know anyone watching if you've played or not, but you can sort of do the high pops and then do sort of a bit more realistic. It's not quite as good as the Skate 3 hardcore mode. This has got all the assists off at the minute, everything on the minimal, and it still does feel a little bit floaty. So I'm hoping they'll update that at some point, and just maybe get a stat menu or maybe a slide menu on what the gravity settings are, that sort of stuff. Maybe stuff like pops out of grinds, stuff like that. So which they have now added to session. So if you press the R1 or L1 or right button, left button triggers, it does like a bit of a pop off some of the transition, which is cool. So yes, the big games really I've been playing at the minute are probably, I'd say, Art Raiders, but then I bought Helldivers 2, and that initially I couldn't believe how good that game was. So I've sort of had it a couple of weeks, and it's such a good game, actually. It's a little bit more flexible and a bit more of a shooter than your Art Raiders, which is a bit more player versus player. But I think it depends how you play it. I think with the Art Raiders, I've probably done about 12 games now and maybe died once. So I think definitely dependent on how you play determines the servers you're going into. Yeah, so I've tried to play quite good on that, and then bought Helldivers 2, and that was just absolutely insane, and a bit more chilled out, and the community's better, I think, so you can just jump into random servers, everyone seems happy to help, and you're basically just going absolutely crazy on the AI, and, yeah, such a good game. I'd probably say I'm struggling with Art Raiders a little bit, where possibly I can go into a server, not actually see anyone for the full game. So I say sorry for any breaks, guys. I know there's people watching at the minute, so yeah, childcare problems. Yeah, the Helldivers 2 definitely has a good community. You can jump into a server and everyone's just there to go absolutely crazy. The Art Raiders, I'm struggling a bit where I can go into a server, a bit like last night, live stream, 20 minutes, did a game, came across a few people, and I think I got one kill on one arc and that was it, which was literally a little bot, and there was absolutely nothing, the server was completely dead. So it does feel like I'm probably in the wrong servers at the minute, whether it's being UK based or just going on the wrong maps, I'm not sure. Maybe because I'm playing too safe and getting into the friendly servers, there's not really much going on. So yeah, so it's probably my fault playing it a bit safer than not at the minute. So just seeing the comment, I have got the mic working, which is good, finally, which is actually the PC mic, which plugs into the front of the PS5, which is good and seems to work. This is the first time I've actually used a mic on the PlayStation, apart from the controller. So I'm hoping this is quite clear actually. This is the SteelSeries headset, which seems actually really good, which is the wireless Nova 5 headset, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone's got questions or not. This was just such a random stream. I'm doing a bit sort of random streams at the minute. I do work full time. I've got a 3-month-old child, plus a 4-year-old, plus obviously wife, house, dog. Full house at the minute, which is yeah, crazy. And I'm sort of middle-aged almost, I think. Or getting that way. So yeah, I think a few years ago was probably the peak of the channel of streaming, doing a lot of live streams at nights, live streams at weekends, doing 30 giveaways a year, and it was just insane. It was so good. It would be good to be sort of do the content stuff more. Yeah, I always thought maybe if I started earlier, before everything, and had more time, because the amount of time I used to game, I probably could have had a channel going better. But yeah, it's not a problem. But it would be nice to get somewhere. But yeah, it's so difficult. I think YouTube. There's a lot of people. I see a lot of people doing a lot of streams, a lot of live streams, and it's hours and hours and hours of your life, almost every day streaming. And that's all sort of just to try and build a bit of a presence on YouTube, almost a bit of a following on YouTube. So you could spend hours, you could spend hundreds and hundreds of hours, hundreds of weekends, nights playing, and actually not really get anywhere. And it actually does cost you, possibly in the short run, where you're spending money on games, doing other bits like that. A bit like Resident Evil's come out, so there's a lot of people streaming that at the minute who aren't making any money from YouTube. So you think you're spending £70 trying to get a stream going, and it sort of pressurizes you a little bit to sort of keep up with the latest games, latest DLCs. So yeah, it's hard, to be honest. I think there's probably a lot of pressure on streamers. I don't know how much people make streaming. When you look at some of the big channels, I'd probably imagine they are making a good living off it. But there's a lot of hours in the back, a lot of time, sort of processing, editing, filming, possibly beyond a normal 40-hour-a-week job. So yeah, it is difficult. I think it is quite a small percent of people who actually do get there, versus the amount of channels which come and go. I've had this channel since 2007, which is absolutely crazy. Started streaming probably 2019, doing a little bit more with the shorts, bits like that. So yeah, so it is difficult. I've seen a lot of channels sort of come and go, and people spend, as I said, spending hours and hours, and it's just trying to get a balance of don't waste too much of your life trying to get there or thinking too much. I always found the best time on YouTube I had was just the times a bit like now, where you can just sort of do a random stream anytime. There's no set schedule. It's just random stream on the PS5. See if anyone joins. Obviously, it's not the best way to do it. If you are looking to get a channel, definitely the best way is to schedule streams, be consistent in the days, times, length of content, little bits like that. So yeah, definitely don't do it my way. I'd probably suggest, but as I say, I'm not doing it as a job. I'm just doing it as a hobby in the background. But yeah, so the state of the channel at the minute, I don't quite know actually. It's still going, I suppose, which is good. I'm still getting sort of bits. I don't push for anything, that's the thing. I get stuff from Control Freaks, which is cool. I've had headsets, I've had different bits across the years, which is really cool actually. It's quite good to get there, where you're getting products and different bits. Not one to push products, commission. A lot of people at one point, a bit like TikTok, are pushing commission and sales, little bits like that, and I find that a little bit forced. Yeah, so you probably find TikTok's just one massive jumble sale at the minute of people trying to push products, different bits. At one point there's stuff like Amazon do, sort of PC bits. You can make commission off Amazon, you can make commission off desks, chairs, games. It's not really worth the amount unless you've got a massive following and you're selling a lot of products that way. I'm always a bit nervous of, do people use the products or are they just using it to sell products? So obviously that's just life, isn't it, with everyone. It makes you think all these celebrities who market products, have they ever used it, or are they just there for the day just to get a paycheck? So just have to take it with a pinch of salt, I think, on YouTube and TikTok, places like that. But yeah, a lot of the audience of people are probably younger than myself, where they aren't working possibly, or they're doing other bits or can't afford to buy things. So it is yeah, that's just the market, isn't it, where the people pushing the products get them for free who can afford them, and the people who want them can't afford them. So it's an absolute headache. But that's just sort of life, isn't it? But it's definitely pushed a lot, and it makes you think, like a lot of the game reviews, how many are paid and what's paid, commissioned, bits like that. So, but yeah, so the state of the channel really is, I'm probably saying maintenance at the minute, but I'm just keeping it going. I do enjoy the channel. I do enjoy YouTube. I enjoy watching games. I do try and support people, so I'll try and jump into streams if I see streams going on. Try and comment, share, that side of it. Still doing giveaways, so probably done probably 3 or 4 this year already, which has been from games to bits of DLC, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely still going, just to keep it going. It doesn't really, I was going to say, do my brain in. I'm not checking how many subscribers I've got, how many watch hours I've got. I think it definitely does take over. You can get a bit obsessed. I built up quite a lot of watch hours and different bits last year, the year before, and then had to stop with family and work, and then you lose everything then. So it's definitely tough. I think unless you're streaming every single day for a good couple of hours, it definitely is difficult. And I think that's the problem, where when you're trying to get to that point, you do sacrifice a lot of stuff, and it almost takes over your life, and you think, is it worth it? I suppose if you don't try, you never know. But just be conscious of your own life and well-being, whether it's mental health, physical health. I'm gonna get run over. Okay. Yeah, so it's difficult. You do see a lot of YouTubers and they've got sort of 1 million subscribers, and then there's got different health concerns, mental health bits, and different bits, and you think they must be, you always wonder how have they got like that, when you think they've got such a good life of playing games, getting paid for it and bits, but there's obviously other bits in the background which are causing stress and pressure of actually producing content. I think nothing's guaranteed. People drop off, and yeah, I think that's the hard bit. Unless you've got a really established channel, it's difficult. Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. Just about. But yeah, so the PC I've not actually been on. I've not even turned the PC on, apart from trying out the new skate style. I think it is game, the one on Steam, which is pretty cool actually. It's sort of a combination of session with all the stats. It probably goes into a bit of the Tony Hawk Underground where you can actually create your own tricks, which is cool, and sort of foot position, tweak tricks. Yeah, so it's pretty cool actually. It'd be good to see where that goes. And I think that is just one person developing that. So it just shows you if you do spend the time and commit to it, and you're not in that corporate world of making money, then you can actually deliver a good product. I think that's a shame with Skate XL where the developers and Easy Day Studios just sort of gave up with the game. There's quite a lot of issues internal to the group. The game wasn't complete. They were sort of dripping out sort of paid or free maps, and yeah, it's so floaty. They just haven't sorted out the core mechanic on console, and then it's almost sort of died a death now. I still used to play a lot of the modded PC version, which is still really good. It's like a completely different game. I'd probably say I play it over Skate actually, and Session. It just feels so good. You've got so much control on sort of winding tricks up, a lot of control on both feet. The maps, there's so many maps. There's a lot of Session maps on there now. There's Skate maps, Skate 2 maps, Tony Hawk maps, absolutely everything you could think of. And then there's quite a lot of real world maps as well. So if you go onto the servers, there's absolutely loads of stuff on there. Clothing, you can change everything from your stats, similar to Session. So you can change gravity, foot position, board size, pop heights, basically everything you can on Session, but plus probably a bit more actually. So yes, it's good, but it's just a shame it is on PC. And when people do talk about Skater XL, it's almost dead, and they sort of refer to the console version and can't get past that. So it is a real shame actually. Session, as I said, seems to be the same. There seems to be a lot of dev issues and drop-offs and just lack of content. I think the game's still a little bit clunky. I know they've just had the new update, but it's still not quite there. And it still needs to add quite a few bits in, but I think overall it's probably a lot better than it was. Hopefully that's working again. A nightmare. Has it run out? So yeah, this isn't anything too crazy, this stream. As I said, some streams, quite a while ago, I remember doing sort of like Modern Warfare 3 stream, and there's over 1,000 people during that, which is absolutely crazy. A lot of the Days Gone streams used to get quite a few people. Used to get sort of 70, 80 people, which was a lot. I know now you see there's a lot of people getting sort of 1,000 plus people, which is absolutely insane. I've never quite got to that point on the channel. I think the UK is difficult, possibly. That might be an excuse. But the times I was streaming were probably either sort of through the day or quite late on at night, and it is quite difficult then to get a good audience. But yeah. But yeah, I think the problem is if you start looking at numbers too much, it does consume you. And it's just being mindful of not spending. It's almost trying to balance out, is it worth it? How many hours do you want to spend on the channel? Try and activate that one. I don't quite get how these activate. Some seem locked, some seem activated. Absolutely not sure how it quite works. I don't really want to grab music because then it'll just kill the stream as well. But yeah, as I said, I think at one point it was quite good doing a lot of the streams, probably a lot of the giveaways, a lot of the shorts, which is good. At the minute it has been difficult. I sort of dropped off the channel quite a lot. It's so hard to recover as well. I think the minute things drop off and then sort of the algorithms and different bits, it does kill it a little bit. So it just makes it quite difficult to get going again. But yeah, it's trying not to give up with it. But again, just being mindful of what's achievable and how much time do you need to spend doing it. As I said, I used to spend quite a lot of hours streaming, sort of in the night, sort of through the day, different points. I'm still doing it now, still sat here, but obviously the PS5 is definitely a lot easier to jump on, just sort of random times. I think the PC's probably a bit more committed, where you're then having to set streams up and sort of commit to doing a stream and plan it quite well, or do some editing. But yeah, so at the time I was using OBS, which worked really well for the streams. It's so easy on PC to sort of get the stream, plus do the vertical streams as well, which were cool. I tended to get more views, or definitely all the views I got were from the vertical plugin, which was good. So that was all sort of sort of like the short feed. So I think because the channel was mainly doing shorts, it'd pop up more on the short feed, which was cool. So yeah, so I'd probably get a few views on the normal stream like this, and then all the views would be on the shorts. So I'd probably get each stream, there'd probably be about 1,000 views, which were cool. Quite a lot of people joining sort of through, which was good actually. Yeah, it was sort of that time I probably won't get back, and that's probably the peak of the channel. And now it's definitely not dead, but it's definitely dying slightly. But it's probably my commitment time, probably the games I'm playing. I think playing a lot of skate, a lot of games, you can limit yourself. I think a lot of the channels that do well either are committed to one game, which is going to do well, a bit like it seems to be quite a lot on Gran Turismo, seems to be quite a lot on Siege, or at least there was. Battlefield's always a bit of a funny one. Again, like the Call of Duties, it just depends on the state of the game at the time. But there are quite a lot of games where people sort of commit to it, and they're quite a long-term game, and that's where sort of the best channels work quite well, unless you're doing a lot of the walkthroughs and sort of investing on probably a lot of new games and games you probably won't play and sort of trying to get the content out. So a bit like if a game came out, you're trying to push for that early access, or you're going to complete it and spend pretty much all night completing it, recording it and getting it uploaded to be sort of one of the first out. So there's probably a mixture of channels really. I'd probably say the channel definitely did probably a lot better when I sort of branched out to doing a lot of the walkthroughs and the PC. So we did a bit of Spider-Man, a bit of Ghost of Tsushima, did the Days Gone, which was really good actually, probably the best game I've played for a long time. And then obviously in the middle there was a lot of the Skater XL, a lot of the Skate and Session, which always do well actually. It's surprising how well Skate content does. There's a lot of people on the game. I've definitely noticed Sessions dropped off quite a bit. Seems to be still quite a few channels going, but they're very select channels, but it is quite a good community still, which is good. And it was the same with Skater XL in the Discord. There's so much going on at one point. It's such a shame sort of the game sort of dying, or has died. But yeah, Skate seems quite good at the minute. Definitely smooth. I quite like how they've sort of kept bits in, but I'd probably say they need to re-add bits. It'd be nice to get a bit more of a hardcore mode where, a bit like I was doing a tray flip like that, you just do sort of the smaller scoops, a bit like that every time, and sort of try and map things a bit better. I'm hoping they'll start doing that. The hardcore mode doesn't quite feel hardcore, and it doesn't quite have the sort of the settings to make it feel realistic enough. So there's a lot of I've got every assist off at the minute, and it's still a little bit too easy to pop into stuff. So I admit it does make it a bit harder, but it's not difficult. It'd just be nice to get a bit more of a challenge. I remember Skate 1 being difficult at the time. It felt quite a raw game. I always remember the distinct sound of the sort of the wheels. Everything felt so raw. I think that's how the game did so well actually. I remember picking that up when it was released in 2007, I think it was. I remember picking that up. It was just like nothing else, and it was just this massive, almost sort of like a game changer in the skate world. And this game's definitely the Skate 3 game, where Skate 2 sort of had a bit of a raw feel. Definitely had that city feel. You had the security, you had all the grind sort of blocks and everything, and it felt like there was a living city, and you were actually skating in places which you shouldn't be skating in. That was lost in Skate 3. Skate 3 was definitely the downfall of the skate games, only in the sense of that raw feel, where even the camera angle on Skate 1 was zoomed in. The grinds felt raw, you could feel the grind. It was I can't really explain the feeling. It just had such a realistic, raw vibe to it, which was unfortunately lost then a little bit. Even down to Skate 2, camera angle changed a little bit, and then Skate 3 is basically pretty much like this game, where it was more arcade based. God, it's definitely getting its own back on me, this game. But yeah, definitely more arcade based. This game is too arcade. It'd be nice to zoom the camera in a little bit more, get a little bit more hardcore settings going, and just the raw feel again. I think that'll never be the case. I think there's too big of a gap of people who actually skate in real life and want a true skate game, versus that arcade game where people don't skate but like the skate games. I think that's lost now. Skate 1 was definitely designed for the skateboarders. Skate 3 was that arcade general game. And yeah, I probably need to play Skate 1 again. I don't know if it's on PS5 or not. I've got it on Xbox. But yeah, I think at the minute I'm probably going to say I might pick Resident Evil up at some point. I need to play a bit of Helldivers 2 a little bit. Maybe a bit of Ark Raiders again. As I said, I think with Ark Raiders, because I'm playing too nice, I'm not getting into the depths of the PvP or even PvE so much. I'm getting thrown in sort of boring servers with a few people just scavenging about, hardly any bots, because there's no one to actually kill, so there's no bots. The bots aren't bothered. So yeah, I'm in an Ark Raiders game with no Arks are raiding no people. So yeah, it's a little bit different. I think Helldivers 2 is definitely more focused on bringing people together, and regardless of if you're solo or in a group, and not bothered how you play, it's still going to be absolute chaos. So yeah, Ark Raiders, as I said, I have it so easy. I can jump in now, get on a server with no bots and no people, but it's so boring as well. So I think the element of the PvP is probably the key to the game, and that's the bit I'm missing, because I just like the chill vibe, and probably just killing more. I'd say killing more the bots than the people, sort of thing. So, but yeah, I'm still going to play quite a lot of Skate. It seems to be sort of the go-to game where I can commit to 10 minutes or I can commit to an hour. Where Ark Raiders, you sort of committing to a game, and the same with Helldivers, you sort of committing to like probably half an hour, which isn't long, but to me half an hour is massive. I don't get half an hour that often to play, so you probably find there's a lot of shorts kicking out and quick clips. Most of my shorts do take about 2 minutes to get, and real no effort. So, but yeah, it's just easy to get the shorts, but there is no effort behind it whatsoever. But yeah, it'd be good to do some more giveaways though. I don't know if people want to comment or following watching this what you want to see going forward. As I said, probably over 60 giveaways probably last year and the year before, sort of collectively, which was such a cool year actually. And it's good just to see people sort of giving a bit back, as in I do appreciate the support on the channel. It's sort of keeping the channel going, even though I don't need people, I'm not getting paid, but it's just nice to get a bit of recognition and a bit of a community. I prefer people commenting. I don't look at likes, I just sort of look at comments and trying to get people together that way. So yeah, it's quite a good, especially when I was doing the Days Gone, there's such a good community on that game. It definitely felt like it brings people together, and I think that's why I like the channel really. It's just sort of trying to speak to people and yeah, get a bit of an understanding of other people, I think. But yeah, I'm quite impressed actually how easy the PS5 is to stream. Even down to the headset, I'm usually messing about on OBS for about 10 minutes and then checking streams to make sure the audio's working and the mic's working. But with this, it just seems, I think once you've set it up, it's definitely easy. Sorry, I'm dying. I'm not dying, I'm just talk too much without having a drink, I think. But yeah, if there's any giveaways people want to see, I do know Red Dead's getting a... Okay, don't know what went on there. I do know Red Dead's getting a 4K sort of 60. Okay, I've not mastered this. Yeah, 4K sort of 60 frame update, which is cool. Okay. Resident Evil Requiem has just come out, and that is the first game to have this PSSR sort of 2.0 update for the PlayStation Pro, which is cool. To be honest, I can't quite tell. I've looked at a couple of videos and they were sort of mapping it against sort of the FSR and sort of the AMD sort of frame generation plus the DLSS 4.5 I think it is, which is the new one, so it's almost sort of comparing the PSSR 2 to the sort of PC. It seems to match in alright, but I think regardless, the PS5 is a good console. And for the most part, the only benefit of the Pro, I'd say, is the 60 frame plus the 4K. I think a lot of it, unless you've got a really good TV, you probably wouldn't notice a lot of it, but for me it was just the 60 frames, and I think that's just coming from PC. There's definitely some wild glitch in this part of the map. The tray flips, when they work, do look quite nice actually. And it's a shame this stream, because all the streams I actually don't talk on do quite well, and then this is the first stream where I've actually got a mic plugged in and can answer questions if there's questions on channels. So I usually get quite a lot of questions actually on how to start a channel, what content would you do, general how to set streams up, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I used to get all sorts of questions kicking in, and I've always sort of just said, do whatever you want with the channel. I think a lot of people get focused on trying to work out what do people want to see, which does help because obviously it brings people in, but I always say do what you enjoy, and you sort of then build that framework around it and network of people who've sort of got the same interests of games. So if you're into skate, then stream skate. If you're into anything, like say in the Days Gone, that was such a good game, it has a massive following, but every game seems to have a big following these days, so just stream whatever content you feel, whether it's live stream shorts, long videos, sort of walkthroughs. There's probably not really a right or wrong with it. I think just if you enjoy it, it'll just naturally come quite well. I think if it's forced, then it starts getting too much pressure, and then it's definitely hard to compete with YouTube, in the sense of if I was to do a Resident Evil stream now, for example, there's probably 10 other channels plus it'll get well in excess of the views I can achieve. So it makes it hard then to actually get an audience, because unless they're joining the live stream, they're going to watch it somewhere else. So I'll probably say stream some unique games, stuff you like, even down to doing random videos on setups, bits like that. I think people like the personal touches. I think there's a lot of quite big YouTubers which don't quite have that, where you don't quite get the personal touch to it. So they'll do a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of gameplay videos, but you actually never see the setup. You don't know anything about the person, but they might have 1 million subscribers. So it's a shame now, where if I quit the stream, it'll actually cut the stream off. So I could have loaded Session or another game up, but it's going to bump this stream actually. But I do find a lot of the Smith grinds are pretty smooth. Overall, the game's definitely better than the versions I was sort of provided across sort of the 2 years of sort of early access and live streams. As I said, I did have a mobile version, and I don't think they have released that yet, so whether that's me going against some disclosure, I don't quite know. But yeah, there's definitely a mobile version which was pretty good actually, but at the time I didn't quite like the game in general, but the game's definitely a lot better than it was, and it's going in the right way. I think for me, just the Skate 1 vibe's gone. I just like the raw skate feel of the game being built for skateboarders, which sounds silly, but it's a little bit like if I was to play BMX Pipe, for example. I don't quite have that connection to the game because I don't BMX, and I think that's what Skate is. It's definitely built for the wide audience, and you probably see that with a lot of the trick liners and people doing all the crazy stuff. It's probably a select few people I probably come across who do more the realistic edits, and that's probably something I probably prefer doing. But that's probably from skateboarding back in the day. But it's been a while. But yeah, I think again with the YouTube questions, it was more do something you enjoy doing. Don't look too much into numbers. The problem is if you start looking at subscriber numbers, watch hours, you just go down this massive self-destruct mode, and it's more mental health problems, I'd say. And you start looking at losing hours. I've lost thousands of watch hours, and that's my personal choice of having a bit of a break from here. Probably just time, family, everything like that. So yeah, it definitely does get a bit obsessive, and sort of takes the fun out of it. So all the watch hours, looking at watch hours, subscribers, to me, even having the amount of subscribers I've got, I could have 10 subscribers and it's the same benefit, in the sense of I don't get paid, I don't look at the watch hours, I just enjoy people commenting. So if I can do a video and get a comment, that's more than getting all the thousands of views, because I know that's not going to happen. But if I can help, I'll do a few giveaways in the middle, and that's definitely what I'm looking to do. But yeah, so I'll keep going with the channel. I think, as I said, now having a family plus a couple of kids is absolutely crazy. So it was sort of, this channel's basically ramped up a little bit, sort of in the sense I can't leave the house much. I don't have any hobbies, I don't go skateboarding. Sold motorbikes, they've gone. Don't go to the gym, which I didn't do anyway so much. I used to do quite a lot of boxing, which I don't quite do now. So yeah, so it's all but sort of based on that, thinking I can do the gaming, it's something, if I can achieve something in it, then perfect. If not, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's nice feeling when you get the subscribers and comments and views and bits like that, but it doesn't define the channel either. So just enjoy. If you do start, I'd definitely suggest, if you've got a PlayStation or even a PC, then definitely have a look at streaming, even if you just jump on. There's a lot of people spend thousands of hours gaming. You might as well give it a try, just even if it's just gameplay. There's always at least one person who's going to watch the streams, and it's just being consistent, which, as I said before, I'm definitely not consistent. My streams are just as and when, so I might come off here in like 10 minutes and then stream for about 10 minutes after, or tomorrow at a random time. So it's just trying to work out when the best time to stream is per region, what videos, and keeping it consistent that way. But yeah, for me, anything's just a bonus. If I can just stream for 10 minutes, it's better than zero at the minute. I don't know if you can change the I don't think it's graphics. I don't know if you can actually change. I'm sure all the assists should be off. Yeah, it should all be off there. I just don't know how you do the camera distance. Absolutely no idea, to be honest. As I said, the Skate 1 game used to be because if I go like that, okay, it's probably not done it, that, has it? So if I go like that, it's going to make it worse, is it? Okay, that's really strange. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose that's probably the trick line camera angle, isn't it? Which is absolutely mad, that. Look how fast that is. Yeah, I'm definitely not a trick liner. That's absolutely insane. I don't think I could play like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not happening. It does make it harder actually. So if you want a challenge, it's definitely yeah, that's insane. That I didn't even know you could do that. Okay, we'll try and get this one. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. That. But yeah, what I was trying not to do that. I was actually looking to try and get the camera angle a bit closer. That field of view is mental. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be. Should we try that? I really have no idea. Is that it? Maybe that's what I'm after. Maybe that's more the Skate 1 camera. Yeah, maybe that's what I was after. I just remember the Skate 1 being a lot closer, almost back truck, so on session I do have it like that. God. I probably need to change that up a little bit. It seems to have lost a little bit the so that's right there. Camera offset would have to change then, wouldn't it? So that's going the wrong way now. God. I think the game's not set up for goofy, is it? Let me... Advanced camera. Let's try that. Ah, so that's just that setting. Maybe that's better. I don't know. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit more, a bit like the session one where you can change it to the left or right side. Obviously, I don't think you can. It seems a little bit more central. I don't quite like that. Yeah, it's so strange that. It'd just be nice if it was a little bit offset. Probably to the right a little, well, to the left. But I do like this sort of slowing the tricks down a little bit, which is cool. Can't tell if this is better or not, opposed to that. Can't tell. Can't tell if that's better or not. What does that mean? That's not far enough now. sort of get used to it. It's so strange. See how that works. Oh, I've proper messed this up. I've messed the settings up. Oh god. Is it that one? My headset's probably running out as well, which isn't good. Okay, so that's better. What we need to do is probably change that up a little bit. I'm probably changing all sorts of stuff now by accident. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, no, that's not quite right. I've definitely cocked it up a little bit. It's good to know though, but yeah, just absolute mess. But yeah, so I'll still keep doing the channel until the headset runs out. But yeah, so we'll still keep going. As I said, it's just more for fun and nothing too serious. I'll try and do some more giveaways as well, sort of into this year, to see what's out there. Yeah, so I'll try and see what games people want to do to give away. See if we can do some giveaways and stuff. Yeah, so just comment if there's anything anyone's interested in, just to see. Turn that down there. Advance camera. Yeah, I could just do with it a little bit, a bit like the session one. Sorry, this video has been me messing about with settings, but part of it was just testing the headset out as well, just to see if we were to ever stream. Then how do you stream and set it up? So it looks like it's all set up, so I'll probably do a Helldivers 2 stream and other streams like that. I will end the stream in a minute, but yeah, thanks for joining, people. As I said, the channel sort of did peak a couple of years ago when I was doing a lot of the Days Gone, doing a lot of the Modern Warfare 3 streams. Seemed to have quite a good following actually, a lot of comments, a lot of subscribers, and it was crazy. Some days it'd be sort of each month it'd sort of be quite a lot of subscribers and different bits. I think, as I was saying before, don't get hung up on subscribers. There seems to be a lot of people getting hung up on it, but I'd probably say the biggest part is getting a following of people. Just stream stuff you enjoy streaming, do it for yourself, just make sure you enjoy it, and then if other people enjoy it, it's a bonus. Keep consistent with the streams, whether that's just what time you publish sort of shorts, videos, live streams. Just keep consistent. A lot of it's having a good thumbnail, having a good description, having sort of good script. Again, part of my problem is I've never quite had a structure of videos. I've never lined it up. It's always just been on the moment, what I fancy streaming, a bit like today with this. It's just what's easy, what's chilled out, opposed to running a series to keep consistent. The other one is I've never quite had a set time. I just like jumping on as and when, which is cool. But I do find people then message to say they've missed it, or they would have joined if they knew it was on, or if they were online, or for a wait, if they weren't working or weren't asleep. So just find a good time, keep consistent with it so people know when you're streaming, what days you're streaming, but just don't burn yourself out. Don't spend every day hours. Try and keep a good work-life balance, balance with family as well, otherwise YouTube takes over in the sense of family, people, friends, hobbies, and just your personal health. Actually just having time for yourself. It's definitely too easy for YouTube to take over, and it does take over. So yeah, so just look at it as a hobby, and if anything happens and you get people following, then it's a bonus, and it will happen. It's just that first few months or even years of hoping something happens, and then it slowly builds up. It only takes one or two good videos and people pick up on it and start following. So as I said, YouTube's algorithm has its own particular ways of working, so but yeah, I hope everybody's doing well anyway. I'll try and get some giveaways sorted. I've just had a lot on with work, family, kids, dog, house, wife, everything, family plus work and everything in the middle. So yeah, well, the channel's definitely going, definitely still going. It's good just to keep it going. But yeah, as I said, the PS5 has unlocked this ability to live stream as well, which just means if I didn't have the PS5 I probably wouldn't have live streamed this year. I've not been on the PC apart from one stream, and that was the first sort of time for about 4 months actually, maybe even longer. I even got to the point where do I sell the PC, chair and desk, or keep it? The problem is if I sell it then I'll have to buy it all again if I ever need another one, and I always lose too much money selling stuff, so but yeah, I'll end the stream here guys in a minute, and then we'll yeah, I'll pick back up. I'll probably be streaming after, whether it's mic, no mic. A lot of it hasn't been the mic, but it's just because it's family and there's never a good time to get the mic on, so I will yeah, keep everyone posted. But yeah, thanks for joining guys. It has been a while. As I said, people probably notice me more on the PC doing the webcam, doing the giveaways, opposed to being on the PlayStation 5 with no mic. I say no mic, no webcam, no anything, but the benefit is you can stream like this on the PS5. The catch is it's 1080p. But I still think it looks alright. When I've watched some of the streams back, it seems to almost upscale the 4K. So it's 1080p stream, but it still has that detail, which is cool. But yeah, I'll end it there. This stream has just been a quick sort of thought gathering one, nothing too serious. But yeah, anyone wants to comment any videos, just comment. If you want to ask any questions, just ask. I do reply to everything. As I said, I'll try and start doing some giveaways as well, whether that's PC, console, or a mixture. DLC and games, different bits, and I'll start doing that as well again. But yeah, thanks everyone. I will end the stream in a minute. And this has been the first stream I've actually used a headset on the PS5 as well. And kindly these were provided by SteelSeries at the time for PC, probably a couple of years ago actually, which was cool. So I used to get quite a few Control Freak products plus SteelSeries products coming in. Oh, that's quite cool actually. Yeah, and it's a shame I've lost thousands of hours of watch hours and different stuff, and yeah, it's really dropped off. And just the channel, I think, just general, probably say following of the channel, but again, that's me not being consistent with the channel, but just more maintaining it as and when. So yeah, but I appreciate the support, everyone who still joins, follows the channel, comments, takes time to vote for stuff. I do appreciate everyone's time, so yeah, massive thanks, guys. It's still crazy the amount of subscribers I did get, so it's always been a shame to sort of delete all that, because it does mean a lot. There's a lot of history, even down to getting the 20,000 subs on Ghost of Tsushima. It was absolutely crazy, sort of watching that down as part of a live stream sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely mad. So yeah, I'll speak to everybody soon, and thanks for joining. And yeah, I don't know the quality of the headset, don't know the quality of the video, but the PS5 seems to do it all, not as well as the PC, but it's convenient, and it means I can do streams randomly at any time on any game. So yeah, just such a cool feature. So if anyone does want to start YouTube when they're looking at a setup, if you're not wanting to get a PC and spend all that money, then a PS5 would give you that, and you can still stream, you can still get the webcam, get a mic plugged in, and live stream, which is cool, which you can't do on Xbox. That's the only shortfall on Xbox. The only benefit of Xbox is you can do 4K clips, where PS5 the clips and record. I'm trying to think, the clips seems to do 1080p, but then the recordings can do 4K, which then have to just be processed in the video editor and then uploaded that way. So yeah, it's pros really, without carrying the stream on. So effectively the PS5, you can live stream any game, literally just one click and you're live streaming. That can link to Twitch or YouTube, which is so cool and a lot easier than PC. Basically you don't have to mess about turning your PC on, setting OBS up and setting everything up on YouTube in the background. You can literally just turn your PS5 on and you can be streaming within minutes. The benefit of Xbox is you can record 4K clips and shorts, which are cool, and they can go directly onto your phone. But then PlayStation seems to have recordings at 1080p, same with the stream, but you can record 4K gameplay, but you have to edit it in the video editor, so it does take a little bit longer, but it means you can actually record gameplay at 4K and actually upload that directly onto your YouTube channel. It'll take just a while to process, but it's usually on pretty quick, whereas the live streams are 1080p. So yeah, so you can actually do full walkthroughs on PS5 at 4K, which is epic. So yeah, I will end the stream, guys, and I'll speak to you all shortly. But thanks again for supporting the channel.